And we are live.
Hello, everyone.
Mamba number 5. Hello, everyone. I am here with Frida, Dr. Frida. How come we don't say Dr. Frida? Excuse me. You worked your ass off, right?
Right.
True. We are
True.
here with Dr. Frida Sophie Schatz, and we are here with my best friend in the world, Troy Altamaz, and we are going to, yay! And we are going to have a talk about a topic that's very close to my heart. And the topic is X-Men
in relationships. And actually, I would love to ask you a question regarding to the class because you actually named it respecting what is loving and caring for you. So what do you mean by that?
That is an awesome question. Okay, so I spent the first 42 years of my life continuously being compressed and contracted. And I thought that was me in the world. I thought that was who I was. And then I got my bars run and I realized that I had never in relationship, nothing like it's no one's fault. They were never invited to that either. And I was never invited to look for what was true for me as a being. And this is like huge, you know? And so I basically had the point of view, she who is now a relationship and different facilitator. There you go. I had the point of view that I was rubbish at relationships. That I'm going to say this, there's something radically wrong with me in relationship because I couldn't actually, I found myself continuously compressing, and looking after what I could give and what I had to do to be loved, accepted, whatever that is. And so when I called this call respecting what is loving, caring for you, and when I said I was never invited to actually look for what was true for me, which is gratitude, silence, allowance, happiness, possibility, calmness, kindness, peace, humor, turned on with my body. I hadn't even been, number one, invited to that. Number two, I must have been aware of it because I wasn't happy with what I was in and what I was creating. So this for me, as an X-Men, and an X-Men is someone who's extremely different, okay? And they actually are a mutation of the species to a higher functionality. And we have we're more like horses on the earth than most people. And so I didn't have the education, I didn't have the tools that I required to work with the difference of me and what I could choose, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And for me, I get like one of the things was I made myself dynamically. I'm gonna say like it was not like even like I would like make myself wrong and I was like so normal. Like that was that was not the problem, but like the problem that I thought I had in the moment, like why I cannot be like everybody else in relationship because everybody like seems so happy or they seem they have it all together. Like and I would like why I have so much trouble in something that like other people seem okay with it. And that was like one of the things that I made myself dynamically wrong. And I actually was trying to like constantly fit in to this reality that after like I'm actually so grateful for the tools of access consciousness because it allowed me to like create a reality that was totally beyond this reality, which is actually includes me, that I have peace and the things that you just described, like peace, ease, silence. And I started to create like relationships was totally different and actually totally worked for me. And I just realized, like, for me, I think like that was one of the things like really allow me to like choose what works for me without making myself wrong. And I get like how many of you like out there that you're making yourself extremely wrong with all your relationships rather than actually looking at how different you are and actually what's going to work for you, which is a totally different reality.
I'm going to jump in on what you said because you said something brilliant. You said, I made myself wrong. Okay. So there's the lie. And so when you make yourself wrong, what I did was I hid me. And so when you make yourself wrong, firstly, you're judging you. So that's actually abuse. That's prolific abuse, self-judgment for X-Men because it destroys their bodies and it destroys their future. And so then you're making you wrong and then you have to hide you. Like for me, I had to hide me because the gratitude that I functioned from was like, what's wrong with her? Like, she's always grateful. Or the kindness, you're trashed if you're kind, you know? So then I became a bitch, you know? And so I'm going to say all the energetics of what worked for me in my body, like the silence, the joy, the allowance, the space, I actually hid that, which means I totally hid me for because I made other people's realities greater than what I had available to me. And it's so beautiful to have information in regard to what works for me now, you know, and what I require. Yeah. And actually, even myself and Frida spoke yesterday, and she said to me, I really enjoy like the space of silence, you know. And I get there's so much proven in relationship that we have hidden who we are or we hide it because of all the lies that we've bought into in regard to projections. And we'll talk about this on the call. There's a call coming up Saturday night. But all the projections of what you should be, what you're supposed to be, the way you should talk, the way you should dress, and all the expectations. And these are what create the separations where I'm going to say this, I hid me so well, I didn't even acknowledge what was true for me.
Yeah. And how many of you that actually gave up what is true for you and actually what makes you happy in favor of creating a relationship with someone that doesn't even make you happy?
One relationship?
Relationships. Yeah, and it's huge. Like it's a huge topic, and I get like that's why Rachel is actually choose to do this class, where you can come and ask questions and actually listen other people's questions that allow you to have more awareness and different possibilities.
Maybe we should have called this X-Men relationship, have you hidden you in relationships? Would you like to say something, Frida? And you don't have to. One of the things about myself and Frida is she's one of the people that can actually allow me space to look at something. So are you, Troy? And so often that space is not valued, you know, because we're supposed to have a certain response, you know, the need of reactive realities. And so for me, it's super valuable, that space and that silence.
Yeah. Actually, maybe even there might not even be a lot of words, but even you guys talking about this is like,
it's time to relax.
I can relax, which is like beyond this reality. And What if that was
And
possible in all relationships, like not just romantic ones and the significant other, but with everyone and everything you interact with?
Oh, what would it take? What would it take that we could just relax? I was in Ireland I arrived Monday and I left Thursday morning. And on Wednesday night I went to dinner with my son, Dara, my daughter Jessie, and my daughter Aoife, and his girlfriend Lily, who's part of the family. We all went for dinner in a beautiful wine bar. And we just sat there and giggled, and my kids are really they're really pretty open. We talk about any topic, and to not hide me and what I love, and for them to not hide what they love and what works for them. It's truly, it allows us to breathe and relax, that you don't have to put on a persona, that you don't have to put on this character to be accepted, And I remember going home and I said to my eldest daughter, that's the most beautiful night that I've had with you guys in a long, long, long time, because we were all together, which is not something that occurs a lot. And I was just so grateful for the peace and the happiness and the laughter and the joy, And yeah, it's just, it's so underestimated, the space of gratitude and joy, instead of we should have this, instead of what have we now, what can we celebrate right now. And if you're out there and you totally have compressed yourself, I used to say that I believed I was so wrong that I would turn myself into a pretzel to prove that I was lovable. But whose point of view was I defending there? If you're out there, there's nothing wrong with you, there really isn't. And usually we compress ourselves because we don't even acknowledge the level of projection that's thrown at us when we walk in and we interact with another person. Can I tell you guys a lovely story?
Yeah.
So Georgia Watson, who is this beautiful lady in America, and she also practices the tools of access consciousness. She told a story about, she was with a horse one day and the owners were getting super stressed, and they were trying to get the horse into a horse box, and they were there was force and she called Gary Douglas, the creator of Access Consciousness, who was the one who talked about the X-Men and the evolution of the species and the communion with the earth. And he said, pot and pluck all the projections on the horses, the projections, the expectations, the separations, the judgments and rejections. She literally was on the phone with Gary. As she got off the phone, she turned around and the horses were trotting into the horse box. And I'm pretty sure she said to Gary, or Gary said to her, we're more like, X-Men are more like horses than what we want to know. And so often for me, I didn't have the presence and the awareness to be aware of what was being projected on me, how should I behave, the judgments. And I would absolutely hide me and give me up in favor of fulfilling other people's judgments. And that certainly isn't fun. And that led to me being very suppressed and depressed and not acknowledging what was true for me. And so, yeah, we invite you to this. I always call these classes an exploration, because people don't even recognize when they gave up their gratitude or what's true for them in favor of someone else's judgment, and then continuously compressing themselves in relationship, which is what I did for a long, long time. And whether that was in my job, in business, in circles, parties, whatever, with men, with women, with my mom, what if you didn't hide what was true for you anymore?
Yeah, it's a huge topic. So if you like to explore more, I'll be popping the link in the comments, and it's gonna be on November 25th. It's live in Istanbul at the moment and online worldwide, 5 p.m. Central European Time to 7 p.m. European Time. So how does it get any better?
And it's really a lovely time. Actually, you've just given me a little flicker try. It's really a lovely time to take a look at what is true for you in relationship heading into Christmas in the Christian communities. It's really a lovely time to take a look at, like, what is it that works for me in relationship, and what is it that I can choose. And we're not saying that, you know, people are right or wrong with their points of views. We're looking at what's important for you, and who or what do you make more important than you, you know. And so it's a lovely time to come in and get present with what is true for you, and really demand that you be those for yourself, that loving and caring for you. Beautiful.
Okay. Thanks so much, Rachel. Thanks so much, Frida. And thank you so much for everybody that's watching now or
Johnny and Ibella.
bye, Gwen.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks, Frida. Thanks, Troy. Bye.